Coming up on this edition of Hawkeye News.
Farewell to the class of 2007. June 2nd was the conclusion of many great high school careers as the class of 2007 proudly marched across the stage at the Dallas Convention Center to accept their diplomas. We have highlights of the ceremony.
Plus, one of the main goals the district has set for this year is to improve communications with students, parents, and the Red Oak community. One of the main ways the district has done this is with the new School Fusion District website that went online in early August. We tour the website and show you some of the features. Details straight ahead.
As many of you already know, the 2007 Red Oak ISD bond election was a huge success, and now the district can focus on building new facilities. Hawkeye News reporter Catherine Martinez is back, and will show you how you can keep up with us and all our progress in our growing district. A full report coming up.
Also, we welcome back one of our most popular and informative segments here on Hawkeye News, the Counselor's Corner. This month, we check in with our counselors to see what students need to know to get off to a successful start. Important information coming up.
And later, we'll check in with our new WC reporter, Chris McClure, who will be bringing us news and information from the WC this year. This month, Chris introduces us to the new principal and tells us what's up at the WC.
And finally, returning from last year's news team, but this time as our crime reporter, we welcome Lexi Belote to bring us her first crime report of the new school year. News students can use.
All coming up next on this edition of Hawkeye News.
You're watching Hawkeye News with Katie Stanglin, Leslie Rangel, Sports with Zach Toombs, plus Lexi Belote with our crime-fighting reports, and more news coverage with our Hawkeye News Junior High team. Also, What's Up at the WC with Chris McClure. Plus, academic and student life reports with our Hawkeye News team. Hawkeye News, leadership you can depend on.
Welcome to this first edition of Hawkeye News for the class of 2008. I'm Katie Stanglin.
And I'm Leslie Rangel. It's back to school time once again and a new season for us here at Hawkeye News.
Leslie and I will be your hosts this year on Hawkeye News, brought to you monthly by Hadit and Project Success. We would like to thank Red Oak ISD for this opportunity to bring you news and information from around our district and community. At the end of our program, we'll tell you how you can contact us and give us your comments and suggestions, as well as any ideas for news stories.
Before we get started with this month's headlines, we want to welcome back to the show our 2007-2008 reporters. First, we go to Roseanne Foster, who has come up from the junior high to bring us her new beat called People, Places, and Things Around Red Oak High School. Roseanne is standing by and will later bring us a report on all the new faces around the district. Roseanne?
Thanks, Katie and Leslie. Coming up, we'll meet a lot of new faces around the district this year. Plus, we'll introduce you to Mr. John Humphrey, the new Assistant Superintendent. This and much more coming up later on Hawkeye News. Katie and Leslie, it's great to be back on the Hawkeye News team.
Thanks, Roseanne. We will look forward to that in just a few moments. But first, we want to welcome back our other reporters to the Hawkeye News team.
This new year brings new leadership in many of our clubs and organizations. And this year, Hawkeye News reporter Jennifer Terry will be bringing us lots of great news from her beat of organizations and clubs. Welcome back, Jennifer.
Thanks, Katie and Leslie. It's great to be back for my senior year here on Hawkeye News. As you mentioned, I have information and news on this year's new leaders in many of our student groups and organizations, including band, drill team, and much more coming up soon. Katie and Leslie, back to you.
Thanks, Jennifer. Another reporter who has moved up from the junior high to join the high school team is Hawkeye News reporter Hanan Asali. Hanan will be bringing us news and special events and activities this year. Welcome, Hanan.
Thanks, Katie and Leslie. It is exciting to now be in the high school, and I look forward to bringing our viewers news on special events and activities later this year. Later, I'll have the highlights from the 5th Annual Hawkeye News Awards Banquet and a special report on cancer awareness event held in June. Katie and Leslie, back to you.
Thanks, Hanan. As we mentioned during our headlines, Chris McClure is back, moving from the news desk to the field as this year's West Campus reporter. To see what's up at the WC, let's go to Chris for a look at what's to come in his report. Chris?
Thanks, ladies. I'm excited to be back this year and looking forward to bringing our viewers a lot of great news from our freshman campus in 0708. I'll kick off with a story on another familiar face in a new place, as Mr. Spencer has moved along with us freshmen from the junior high to the high school. There's more coming up later in our show. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Chris. After the overwhelming support of the 2007 bond election held in May, the Red Oak ISD administration and Board of Trustees have been hard at work planning and laying out the plans for the facility upgrades and new facilities that will be built over the next couple of years.
Hawkeye News reporter Catherine Martinez became an important part of the communication chain as she brought us monthly reports last year leading up to the election. Now, Catherine is back and will keep us posted each month on the progress of the bond projects. Welcome back, Catherine.
Thanks, Katie and Leslie. Things seem to be going great as the district has already purchased the site for the new Shields Elementary, and now the administration and board are focusing on final plans for purchasing the high school as well. Each month, I will bring you a progress report on the construction taking place in and around the district. Plus, we'll show you how we can keep up with new announcements related to the bond at our Hawkeye News website at www.hawkeye-news.com. All this and more coming up in my report. Katie and Leslie, back to you.
Thanks, Catherine. We cannot forget to reintroduce some of our other returning cast members.
That's right, Leslie. We'll want to welcome back Lexi Belote, who will be taking over your previous beat from last year, the Crime Report, and she'll be joining us later in the studio. Hawkeye News also has a new sports team this year, as Zach Toombs takes over for Curtis Kelsey in the Sports Center.
Lindsay Love is back and will cover Lady Hawk sports and will be our first female member of the dynamic duo, along with newcomer to Hawkeye News, Ryan Garr. Ryan joined Hawkeye News last year as a photojournalist and now joins Lindsay Love in the athletic zone.
And of course, we cannot forget to welcome back our junior high team. Taking over for Chris McClure as lead anchor, we welcome Ashlyn Jones. Ashlyn will join us later in the studio to introduce her team of reporters made up of Casey Bird, Wade Regas, and new to the junior high team, Taylor Anderson and Travis Hancock.
With so much going on, we better get started. But before we bring you this month's top stories, we would like to kick off with a few words from the man chosen to lead Red Oak ISD this year into a bright future.
Hopefully all ROISD students and staff had a chance to get some well-deserved rest and relaxation during the summer months. One of those people who never really knew that there was a summer was our new superintendent of schools, Mr. Scott Niven, who could be found working 12 to 14 hours a day, if not longer.
Welcome back. It's certainly nice to have you watching today, and it's nice to have you focused in on Red Oak for the new school year. This year is going to be a great year. We have new strategic planning, new buildings, so many great things are going to be happening for our students and our community. We look forward to you being a part of this on a daily basis and being part of the community here in Red Oak. And we also look forward to serving you in any way possible. I think this is going to be a great year, and I'm glad you've decided to be a part of it. If there's ever anything we can do to be a part of your life, please let us know. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Niven, and welcome to Red Oak ISD once again. We are excited to have you leading our district and would like to once again welcome you and your family to the Red Oak ISD family this year.
Now, for this month's top stories.